Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Hey, glad to have you back. This is Dan. You're in the No Comfort Zone. I wanted to touch base on something that I think one of the biggest breakthroughs that I've had since doing the No Comfort Zone in August of 2017, when I had that epiphany to just basically say F it, put myself through the grind and see what happens after I think it was a 60-day run is what I was going to do. Might have been 30, and I decided to do another 30 right on top of it. But so much has changed since then, and I wondered, what was the biggest thing? The biggest thing for me was I look at the way that I was raised. I look at how I was introduced to my family. It's a great family, by the way. Very loving family, very dysfunctional like every other family out there. We got our weird way about us and stuff like that. But here's something interesting. We're all adopted. So my brothers and sisters, each and every one of us is adopted. Two terrific parents decided to adopt us. We're not related bloodline in any way, shape, or form. But we're all very different. We have different ethnic backgrounds. And we all came through the same organization through the orphanage, was Catholic Charities. And expecting mothers, when they had their babies, would go there and they would put their kids up for adoption, and they would basically broker the deal at Catholic Charities. So I was adopted at right around just over probably a year old, I think 14 months. And for the longest time, my name on my birth certificate has always been Brzezowski. However, it's not. My real last name is Jurczyk. So, which is really interesting because, after all this time, I really was perplexed at, is my name Brzezowski or not? Now, I knew I wasn't a Brzezowski, when I came to age. But the truth is, I always had this wonderful feeling of just not being accepted. And I have no rhyme, no reason for it. My parents absolutely were loving parents. They welcomed me into their family. They've sacrificed so much for me. They've dealt with so much for me. And why I'm bringing up this now is because I was listening to another podcast, the Sam Crowley podcast, and I kept thinking about what really has been imprisoning me my whole life. Why did I really make that change in 2017? Why did I change? How did I change? What did I really go through? I have to pinch myself sometimes because I can't believe it. The person I was prior to August 2017 and the person I am now, it's night and day. It's completely different. And my experiences are so much richer now that I've committed to this, and my life has become a lot different. It's become more intentional. I have more purpose. I have more passion. Life is better, and I really want to share it with the world, and that's why I created the podcast. And now I'm going off on Facebook Lives, and I'm doing YouTubes as well, and trying to really build an audience to see if I can help motivate and inspire somebody to get out of their comfort zone and live on purpose. Whether you're in adversity, getting out of adversity, or you're headed into adversity, I think the blueprint that I created really does one thing. It frees you from the prison that you're in, from your state of mind. And let me explain. My whole life, there was no reason for me to feel not wanted. There was no reason for me to feel unwelcome or not accepted because everybody around me accepted me. It was me. I never accepted myself. I always felt I was different. I always felt I was the oddball. I just felt that way. I can't explain why or what have you, or just the way I was. But I also realized, too, that mentality, that victim mentality, that I don't fit in mentality, really compromised a lot of relationships, but helped me to make some really inferior decisions. And those decisions led to some consequences and some problems in my life that really took me down over a long period of time. And it wasn't until I was beaten on my back and I just decided, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I really want to become the person I really want to be. And I realized that I had to get out of prison from my thoughts. And I had to realize that these insecurities that I have to get rid of them. What's the best way to get through an insecurity? If you're afraid, like I was, to talk to people, the way you get through that insecurity, that fear, is to go talk to people. And I was horrible at it. So I would sit and I would read sales scripts, which is the worst, right? You're getting pitched by a salesperson and they're so canned. And I would be the canned sales guy. But after doing it for such a long period of time, and I would say like a couple of years, I became known as the what's the powerful word track for the day? What's the powerful mindset for the day? Because I would learn something and I would read it and I would say it over and over again and I would incorporate that language into sentences, into my vocabulary. And next thing you know, I'm being known as the guy that motivates and inspires people. This is in my 20s. I was known as the positive outlook guy, but deep down inside, no way. I was terrified. I was insecure. People would never believe that at one day that I'd be speaking in front of audiences, teaching them sales methodologies and sales process and leadership training. No one would ever believe that. Same thing, I went into the Marines for the same reason. I was fearful, believe it or not, of discipline. So I figured, well, if I don't have self-discipline and I need somebody to give me discipline, this will help me further my career because I wanted to get in law enforcement, specifically drug enforcement, undercover drug enforcement. And I thought that would be really good discipline to have. But since I lacked self-discipline, I thought the Marines would be a good choice. And I didn't want to go into the Army, Navy, or Air Force. At the time, I thought that the superior branch was the Marines, and they didn't want me. They told me, Pasadena, brother, you're not smart enough to get in here. So it wasn't through, a little bit of negotiation, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of begging where I was able to go in, but I had to go in on an open contract, which meant, son, we're going to do whatever we want to you. You're going to have whatever job, and you're probably going to be a cook or a grunt because nobody comes into the Marines wanting to be a cook or a grunt right away. I know a lot of guys now that wanted to be a grunt and are okay being cooks. But for that being said, my best friends, grunts and cooks, go figure, and military police. So I ended up doing that. But one thing I still didn't have is I had discipline. I didn't have self-discipline. Now I got work ethic. I've got commitment. I've got integrity. I've got all those things. But when it came to self-discipline, I just chose things that didn't require a lot of self-discipline. Now, if you choose things in your life, currently that's what you're doing right now, and you decide, I'm going to choose this goal, but I really don't want a lot of self-discipline, how successful or how passionate are you going to be about that goal? Not so much. And so I realized that's what I wanted to do. That was my comfort zone then. I don't want self-discipline. I want to do what I want with whoever I want, whenever I want, with no consequences. How terrible is that life? And it was terrible. It leads to the road to someday leads to a road to nowhere, something like that. I don't know, figure it out. That's what I'm trying to tell you now. How do you like me now as your podcast host? So I realized that, listen, if anything was going to change, I'm going to have to put myself into an environment to be forced to change. So if you understand where the no comfort zone came from, at some point in your life, even rehab, I couldn't stop drinking and using drugs and people, let's call it what it is, and abusing money, and relationships. I couldn't change that. So I had to go into rehab to learn how to be a better person. I'm not kidding. That's why I went into rehab. I wanted to stop drinking and all that stuff. But if you know anything about addiction, it has nothing to do with the consumption of alcohol, the consumption of drugs. It has to do with the mindset. And really, when you fix that mindset, then you can turn yourself into a better version of yourself. Now, I threw myself into rehab, which was super tough. And the reason I did that is because I lacked, you got it, self-discipline. I lacked self-discipline to stop drinking, to stop feeling and acting a certain way based on my emotions of how my ex-wife was doing this, my kids, this was happening, my employer was here. See the victim mentality? And I'd blame everybody and everything for my lot in life. I'd cry continue. I think I cried for 2 years straight. Truth be told on that subject, though, it was, the drugs and the alcohol and everything that went along with it. So what I decided to do is I knew I wanted to clean up my act and get rid of feeling this way. So what I did was I joined rehab. And I guess what I got? More discipline. Now, I kept saying to myself, at some point in my life, I have to turn this around on my own. And it wasn't until I got the news from the doctor, which said, dude, not in great shape, highly stressed occupation, and kind of overweight, and you look a lot older than you should. I was always known to be the super young looking guy. When I was 30, I looked 20. I would say when I was 39, I looked 27. Some people might disagree with me, but I just didn't take care of myself. So now I'm aging like a president. And thanks, Sam Crowley. I know you use that all the time, but thank you for that. I'm aging like a president. And then next thing you know, I'm miserable. And I'm like, you know what? I want my youth back. I want to be able to make better decisions. I want to be a better version of myself. And so what I basically very intentionally did was I said, I'm going to force myself into a situation where I'm going to get up at a certain time every day that's really uncomfortable. I'm going to do uncomfortable exercises. I'm going to eat uncomfortably. I'm going to work at a level like I've never worked before. Like, let's say that I'm working at a level 7, right? 7, 8, that's what I'm normally doing. That's where I'm at. I'm going to go bonkers and go to 10. I'm going to plan more, I'm going to do more, and I'm going to set up the end of my day better so I can do more the next day. And I kept trying to, 1% get better. I don't even think I was doing the 1%. I think it was at the end of a week. I just want to be able to say that I'm 10% better. And I would track and measure all the nonsense, what I was eating, what I was working out, my volume of exercise, how much weight I moved, just all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, once I started to put those self-disciplines in place in the no comfort zone, I'm losing like a half a pound of fat, every other day. Running in place. Yes, folks, running in place. No weights, sit-ups and squats and running in place. Sometimes I do a couple 20 or 40-minute back-to-back. So instead of doing 20 minutes, I would end up doing 20 minutes. I would end up doing 40 minutes. And then I would try to do 100 squats with no weight, just to kind of give you the idea. Because I was fat and out of shape and unhealthy. And then, man, after 60 days, my clothes were hanging on me. I felt better. I was in a position where I was like, oh, I changed this. And then I got some opportunities financially that changed for me that were huge. And then I got some clients in my life that I really enjoyed that I wanted to work with. And I narrowed it down to one client who I'm still working for today. I'm an employee of that organization. And I look back at all of this. And I'm currently, by the way, hey, just so you know, May 2nd, I think is what it is today. I'm currently in another no comfort zone. And yeah, I'm dealing with a bad knee, dealing with major asthma. But hey, I'm committing an hour a day to physical fitness. I'm I am incorporating meditation. I am incorporating, what do you talk, say things to yourself and repeat it over and over again. I can't even think of it right now. And I've restricted my calories to a ridiculous amount. There's a reason for that. I'm trying to get myself uncomfortable so that I can, believe it or not, start enjoying food again, because I've been taking food for granted. That's the no comfort zone. And that's what I tell people is when you enter this phase, when you get into it, I have a mattress. I have a really nice, expensive mattress. It's one of those that moves around and stuff like that. My kids thought I was absolutely nuts because, please don't think I'm crazy and don't disconnect. Please understand why I'm doing all this. I decided to sleep on the floor. Not all night. I just slept on the floor for a little while. But I wanted to go back to appreciating things again because I've had so much success in my life. I'm worried that I'm getting too comfortable. And yeah, I'm worried I'm getting a little too soft. So I want to go to the next level, and I hope you do too. I wanted to give you a rundown of what's going on and where this comes from and the prison that I had in myself, being able to accept myself for who I am, being lack of self-discipline, putting myself to learn discipline, but still not having self-discipline to do that. All the focus, goals, and ambitions that I have, that you have, where you want to go in your life, I'm telling you, it's all about self-discipline. But you have to commit to it. So I'm doing the No Comfort Zone again. I've just started. I'm on day 2. If you're interested, go to the nocomfortzone.com, download the blueprint. You can find a link on there to join the Facebook group, Team No Comfort Zone. And we'll do a No Comfort Zone. We'll do it together. And it's not comfortable, and it's fun, and it's exciting. But just imagine this. Imagine sleeping on the floor for a minute and then getting to a comfortable bed. It's awesome. Imagine not eating for a while, restricting your calories, a lot, still functioning, still going to work, still working out. And then all of a sudden, when you get that time to rest and eat, how much do you appreciate it? But I'm not doing it for that reason alone. I'm doing it because I have massive goals that I want to achieve in my life. And at 50 years old, if I knew this when I was 20, I'd be a rock star today where I want to be at. If I knew this in my 30s, I'd be a rock star. If I knew this in my 40s, and I kept putting it on because I lack self-discipline. So do you have the discipline that you need right now in order to get where you need to go? And if you don't, I can help you. So go to thenocomfortzone.com. Check it out. Tell me what you think. Let's download the blueprint. Let's start a conversation. You can get on the calendar and I can call you. You can send me an email. Either way, I'm going to help you get those things in life that you want that might have been eluding you based on you making a few different thought changes, a few different mindset changes, and also maybe a few different actual changes so that you can get out of your comfort zone and start living a life on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at No Comfort Zone 1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.